Hey, welcome back to the channel. And you've probably heard about the new beta services coming to Unity Gaming Services. So I wanted to talk about a few of these tools. But first off, let's talk about Unity Gaming Services. So I've noticed this has been around for a little bit. I don't know exactly how long, but they just recently added a bunch of new things that are under beta. So the big thing for me is things like Cloud Save and multiplayer. There was already a multiplayer solution in Unity Gaming Services, but it was by Multiplay, which there was no pricing. It all had to be negotiated, so it didn't really seem like it was for the single indie dev, but I could be wrong. But I never looked into it because I was pretty comfortable with Photon. But something they just recently announced, there's a lot of cool things they just recently announced. And there's a whole trailer on it, so I'm not going to play it here. I'll put links in the description on the trailer and on just getting to this page. But the biggest thing is for me is Cloud Save and authentication. So I want to take a look at Cloud Save because I've dabbled in other Cloud Save solutions. So I want to talk a little bit about it. So the first thing in order to enable Cloud Save is you need to sign up for the beta. And then you need to make sure that you have Unity services set up for your app. So I just created a new URP, which I never use. But I created a new, I need to, universal render pipeline. I just created a new universal render pipeline project. So first thing we need to do is make sure our project is linked up with Unity services. So we go to edit project settings, services. It's already selected for us. Select our organization. And I'm going to use an existing project ID because I did already create this once. And it was just URP tester. All right, but you could also just create an ID right from here if you haven't already linked it to services. So I'm going to link project ID. Yes, I do. And boom, I've linked my project ID. The next thing I want to do, my dashboard on Unity. Okay, so in my project, I have my URP tester project. And it probably starts here in project settings, but I want to go to SDK downloads. And you could just click generate code snippet and get the piece that you want. Or you can just uncheck everything that you're not worried about right now. So right now I just want to look at Cloud Save. And generate a code snippet. All right, so I need to copy this into my manifest in my packages. So if I go to File Explorer, all right, I actually have it open right here, but this is just in my project folder, in Packages, Manifest. We get this, and I've already added it, but you need to make sure you add a comma to the last line, then add the Cloud Save thing. And so when you do that and you open up Unity, it'll load in the package, and you'll see that preview packages are in use. So if you then go to your package manager, and inside your package manager, you look for Cloud Save under, I guess, in Project Works. There's Cloud Save. Go to the samples and import the samples because they don't import by default. And so then what you can do is from the, oh, it's here in samples. So in the assets folder, there's a samples folder, then there's Cloud Save. Just keep digging, and there's the Cloud Save sample. So I'm just going to pick a random object in the scene, and I'm just going to add the Cloud Save sample onto the game object. And all this object is doing now is it's just going to anonymously log into our Cloud Save, and it's just going to give us some debug data. So if I go into the console now and I hit play, I should watch the debug log pop up. Here we are. It's signed us in. It successfully saved a primitive key. It successfully saved a random object created or something. And there's only one key in the project. But now what? And that's kind of the problem with this. Okay, so that's kind of the thing that I don't really like about this. I was kind of excited to see Unity have this built in because that's going to help a lot of folks. But let's take a look at how Cloud Save works. Let's take a look at some of its API. One thing I can do, let's see, if I come over here, there's the documentation. What if I just click on Cloud Save? Is that just going to take me to the, no, this is where I want to be. So here on the Cloud Save section, okay, so we're in Live Ops Cloud Save. One thing I would want to see is where's all my save data? And the only thing you can do to see your save data is go to Find Player. but then you need the player ID exactly as it appears. So what is that? So by default, and it might be in this, by default, it's set up to sign the player in anonymously because Unity doesn't have a login system. When I first was reading through this, I'm like, oh, Unity's going to have its own player base, I guess, kind of like Steam and whatnot. They're going to have Unity credentials that players can use to log in. No, they have an anonymous way to log in. But the problem with that is if a player switches devices, there's no way for them to transfer their data, and there's no way as you as a developer to find their data. But it does give you the option. Where's authentication? There's Unity authentication, and this is in beta. And so the only thing that Unity does is they, like I said, log you in anonymously. If you don't want to log in anonymously, you have to use platform-specific authentication. And so that means using services like Google Play, Apple, Facebook, Steam, which I don't really like so much. Because really only one, maybe two of these, I think, are cross-platform. Like the Facebook login, you can pretty much do on any device. But can you do a Google Play login on an Apple device? I don't know. And you probably can't use a Steam login on mobile devices, can you? Maybe you can. But how do I test this? If I want to be testing my cloud save and seeing on a dashboard where it all is, I already need to know how to use all those APIs and integrate them with this tool. And that's just too much for me. So what am I using instead? I've talked about this before on the channel, and I don't know why people aren't using this. Probably just because they don't know that it exists, but cloudlogin.dev is a real easy way to set up an authentication system. And what's really nice is if you go into your game, I don't know, demo game, from an old tutorials, you can see there's nothing here. Let's back up. If I go to social, okay, just making sure that there's no real email addresses in here. If I go to social, I can see all my users. There's even a store feature. If I go in and click on a user, I can see their username, their score, their credits, number of logins, last logins. I can see special attributes, purchase store items. And this is a free tool. Now, one thing about Unity's Cloud Save is the pricing is amazing. It's got really great pricing for their Cloud Save, very affordable. But for me, it's still pretty easy to use, but not easy enough. I want to be able to easily have a login system. I want to be able to go into the players, make sure it's working while I'm testing, see all their data, make it easier to recover the user data if something goes wrong. And I love this tool so much. I didn't build this. I love this tool so much since I use Playmaker all the time. I created some Playmaker actions for it so that anybody using Playmaker can also use this tool. But there you have it. That's my thoughts on Unity's Cloud Save. If you already are using logins from Google Play, Apple, Facebook, Steam, hey, maybe this is going to be a great tool for you. I personally am not using any of those login credentials. I'm still pretty fairly new dev. We're looking at, I've been doing this for 2 years. I want something that's just create an easy login screen right in the game, and it can be logged in on any device, no matter how many platforms I put my game on. I hope this video was helpful for some of you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. You can check out my Patreon page, and let me know what other types of videos you'd like to see. Until next time, I'll see you later.